Hey, 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 it's your girl Nay coming to you with another episode of As Told by Nay, the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it. What's up? Hello. How are y'all doing this evening? It's your girl Nay. I'm sitting here joined with my girl Koi. She's my guest for this evening. We're gonna have a great conversation, great topic lined up for you guys tonight. How you feeling?
I feel really good. You guys, this is not just like a radio show. Like, we are sisters. So we don't, even though we don't live far, too far, we live kind of far and we don't get to see each other. So this is like, I feel like a girl's night. You know what I mean?
We just have definitely going to kick it, relax a little bit, have some great dialogue, share a couple drinks, might do a little catching up live for the people, but it's all good. Let people know who you are. We're talking about dreams tonight. Why do I have you here talking about dreams?
Well, I am Koi. You can find me on Instagram at Koi Music 813. I'm a local artist. I'm a singer, songwriter, extraordinaire. No.
Yes, all of the above.
But I think well, the topic of the show tonight is just people who are pursuing their dreams. I do sing. I definitely have a 9 to 5, but I definitely do not play about my music. I treat it as though it's I'm get a check, like I got responsibilities. So I love music. I do music, but it seems like as of lately, I've been getting a surge of help, attention, God's grace, favor, whatever you want to call it. But I've been able to just kind of establish myself more, put myself more in front of the people who are like the movers and shakers in Tampa as far as music. So
I am here for the growth. You know what? One thing that I'm very happy about is a lot of people in my life and in my inner circle and the people that I converse with on the regular doing great things, making moves, putting things in place, and making it happen for themselves. And I feed off of that energy. You know, I see y'all, everybody that reaches out to me, let me know what they got going on. I've had a couple of you guys on the show. I'm here for it. I love to see it. I love to be a part of it. And any way that I can help you, let me know. That's what we're here for. Let's eat together. Before we get into all of that though, let's go ahead and take our shot.
I've been waiting for
Toasted up for the night. What are we toasting to?
We are toasting to my future, and we are definitely toasting to 2021 for our futures.
Yes.
For growth, future growth. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so you didn't get to prepare for this part. Let's kick the show off. Typical As Told by Nay fashion with the excuse me, come again. 4 random questions. Just answer them. Just act like
I'm a little
there's
nervous,
not people watching.
You be liking to go there. I be watching your show sometimes. I'll be like, oh.
Did she just?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Question number 1. Who is your lifeline when life gets hard? When something crazy is going on and you're overwhelmed or, you're mad, sad, whatever, who's the first person you're calling?
I'm actually very blessed because I have my core group. So it's like, if this person is at work or they can't answer, I go to the next person. But I would say probably my sister, my brother, my cousin Kendra.
Okay.
And then, of course, Brielle and Trinice. Those are like that's my core group. Yes. And trust me, it seems like when everyone's free is always the one last person who's available.
Yep.
But yeah, probably like in that order though. Typically it depends on who I'm mad at. If it's my family, I might go to my friends first.
Okay. I asked that question because I had a random meltdown yesterday, right? Don't know where it came from. Just all of a sudden I just was in my feelings about all kind of crazy stuff. And I really found myself looking at my phone like, who should I reach out to in this moment to kind of help me, talk me off the ledge because I'm losing my shit right now. And not to say that I don't have amazing people in my life, but just in that moment, I didn't know who to reach out to without feeling crazy.
Yeah.
because I really didn't understand why I was upset.
But you know what it is? You have to release your crazy early. So people, no, for real. So that people already know, like, okay,
Facts.
This is it. If you're so professional most of the time in your in your other life,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That people are probably like, oh no, Nay, she'll figure it out.
She's got it.
No, girl, you got to show them the crazy from early on. You got to panic in front of them. I was just with some old coworkers the other day. They know, like, I be snapping, I be going crazy, I be getting panicking. I remember one time I lost. I'm a nurse, so I thought I lost a whole narcotic card. And it turns out it was just flat in there. My friend was trying to help me, and I was like, no, but we were talking. We can talk about it now. She just know I'm crazy, so it's just like, no harm done. No harm, no foul. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I didn't know who to call. I actually was talking to somebody that is fairly new in my life, and I found myself kind of venting a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's different, because I'm normally not like that. I'm kind of protective over my crazy, but like you said. Got to get it out there early so they understand this might happen sometimes. Yep. But yeah, it made me reevaluate. Like, okay, next time something like this happens, girl, who you calling?
And then you need more than one person. Because what if that one person is at work and a meeting? You can't.
Facts.
You need a village. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but I think everyone needs
everybody
time.
Past childhood.
That
network is important. Shout out to all my friends because y'all dope. Even though I did FaceTime a couple of y'all did not answer the phone while I was doing my having my moment, but it's cool. So very good that you have your people that you can, down the line. Great. Question number 2. The last time you were in love or thought you were in love or felt you were in love,
I'm leaving.
How did you know? What was the telltale sign like, okay, I love this man?
Okay, so I'm an Aquarius.
Okay.
So the reality is I really do not like people. Okay. So if I like you, I love you. That's how it is. I don't like anybody. I'm just cordial and nice. But if I like you, I love you. So that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't have a in between. Like, I'm all in or I'm not in at all.
Okay.
And it's very easy to tell because I don't communicate with people that I just don't like that. So yeah.
So was nothing in particular that he did that stuck out to you that was like, okay?
Well, what I would say is that because of what I experienced, if you want to just go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
For my drink as well. I think stability is very important to me and clear communication. So he made it very clear early on that I am pursuing you. I'm just letting you know I don't want no competition.
Hello.
You can have competition, but I'm just letting you know that I'm not playing. So he did do that, and then the fact that he communicated that well, and that he was just very stable. So if there was a question, it was just like very clear what he would handle and what he wouldn't handle. So it made me feel comfortable because I knew where I could depend on him and where I needed to make sure I had my shiznit together.
Okay, very good, very good. Question number 3. How do you separate from close ties? Now, you said you're an Aquarius, and I have.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, girl, I mean, what do you mean? Stop talking about it. It's not hard. What are you talking about?
That is nuts to me.
It's not hard for me. I literally, so I initially, it will be a little hard, but it's a process, but depending on how deep it was.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's off, it's off. Yeah. And then people are like, I try to explain to people, it's not like I don't think people really understand when Aquarians be like, no, like, I will cut you off. Like, it's not like I cut you off and I'm still going to be mad. It's I cut you off and I see you and I'm like, you look so familiar. Like, were we dating before? Like, right. It's like, for real, like, it's no emotions. Like, all that, we just throw it away. Just like, the memories be feeling distant as hell. Like, oh,
did that really happen?
Yeah, like, oh, we lived together, didn't we? Oh.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, but my cutoff game real strong. I'm very grateful for it.
I need to be like you.
I mean, it's pros and cons to it, but I mean, I heard a lot of feelings, and it comes across like, oh, you never cared ever. No, I did, but once you lose it, you lose. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Dang. I feel you.
In the tarot deck, air signs are the swords. And I'm like, that's so perfect because we be
with no hesitation.
I mean, ain't no hesitation, but sometimes depending on how deep and invested we were, it might be a process. So it might not be the next day, but within at least a month or two, you're gonna be a distant memory. I'm not even gonna remember what hurt me. I'll be like, we broke up. I know we broke up, but I can't remember what the circumstances are. Yeah, and that really cuts people deeper than I think being mad at them, because they're like, whoa, you're like for real, like past it. Don't even remember me. Like, all right.
Yeah, once I get there, it takes me a long time.
That's what I was gonna ask you. How long does it take you? Like a year?
A long time. Ooh, that's a long time. I don't know about a year, but I feel like I put myself in a position for me, because I love hard and strong, and it's like, when I love you, I love you. So I'll continue to put myself in a position to make you hurt my feelings, to the point that I get to, like, you don't hurt my feelings way too many times. Good day.
Okay, so yeah, Aquarians are different. It's like we start our not giving a fuck process. I'm sorry, can I say that?
What? Yep.
Oh, we start our not giving a fuck process from the time we decide. But the emotional part takes time to dissipate.
Yeah.
So it's like, so for example, I had a really bad breakup in February. But the moment the situation went down, I knew that I was not going back. But my heart wanted to go back. You know what it is? Is that Aquarians don't prioritize their feelings. That's the last shit on the list. Like, feelings don't really like, if we're being solution oriented, I'm like, it doesn't really make sense to include my feelings. So I feel them, but they're just not considered in my decision making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. And question number 4.
Oh God, I can do this.
What is the craziest thing that you have done in leaving a relationship?
Why would you do this? I'm leaving. I don't want to answer this question.
So I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys, and he was like, every woman has been crazy. Can't no woman say I've never been crazy about a guy. I never done nothing off the chain.
I was actually able to say that up until earlier this year.
It's always that one.
Earlier this year, I went crazy. And I feel like I don't have to talk about it because it just, no, honestly, I honestly I don't care anymore. But so I'm not, you know what? I'm going to tell you the whole story.
Please, that's okay. Here. Let's talk about
it. Okay. So boom. Boom. I was living with somebody. This is the first relationship that I ever had where I was even living with anybody. Okay. I was living with somebody. I disappointed him. I guess I wasn't domestic enough. I don't know. There was no preceding argument, if you ask me. It was one little incident where I was just like, you know, he had a bad day at work. He was yelling at the kids. I was like, babe, being a dick. Wasn't no argument. It was literally just that.
Right.
Maybe he got offended. I don't know. But the day after that, he decided to tell me that I needed to move out, despite the fact that I'm paying almost 50% of the rent and the bills and everything like
so yeah, roommates.
So, well,
you can't evict me.
And keep in mind, I have a son, so it's not just me that lived there. It's me and my son. Our families are now intermingled.
Right.
Long story short, I was picking up my son one day. His ex-wife was riding me because we're cool. Like, we're not friends like that, but we are cool. And it was a little rough, but I have a lot of respect for her. Mm-hmm. I really do. She, I can't even remember. And maybe this was intentional, maybe not, but with so many things going on, we ended up coming up that somebody had spent the night over his house, and we had been broken up for like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So I was like, it wasn't me. She was like, oh, you know. So at the exact moment when I was reading the message, my son's school is like close to his house. So I ended up driving to his house. I whooped his ass. I fucked up his car. Like, I literally remember, like, it was like I blacked out. Like, yeah.
Them blackouts.
It was like, I don't even remember making the decision to turn left instead of right. But whatever happened, I ended up turning left, found myself at his house. It was literally like, I found out, my heart started beating. I was at the red light. The light turned green. It was like, go left or right, bitch. Which one you finna do? And I was like, I'm finna fuck this nigga up. Like, right. What you mean? Because at this point, I had already moved out the house. I had to stay with my parents for a little bit until I was able to move in the spot that I'm in now. But it was just very fresh. And then I'm like, you had a bitch spending the night
over here?
These were just my sheets, nigga. Like, it was too fresh. Facts. You should have kept that shit more private. You should have had that bitch in the garage. You shouldn't have had that. Yes. Your kids should not have been able to know that you had somebody over there to where your ex-wife found out and then I found out. Right. You shouldn't have did that. It was like, at this point, it was so fresh. And then the thing was, you asked me to move out the house, but you didn't want to break up.
Oh, yeah, no.
You were like, we could still be together, but I want you out as soon as possible. Well, for me, to me, it was over. That's not, I wasn't going to keep being your girlfriend after you talk to me like that and you're kicking me and my son out. Right. Where, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that was my crazy. I didn't bust the windows out of his car, but I did do $10,000 in damage. Ooh. So, and I whooped his ass. I did whoop his ass. He definitely had a knot. I definitely broke some type of figurine over his head. And let me tell you too, I knocked on the door. I was like, I knew I had to be calm for him to let me in because in my mind, I knew I wanted to fuck up the house. That was my real goal, not to fuck him up. So I went in there and I was real calm. And I was like, he opened the door and I, like, for as long as I could, I was like, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you. So you had a bitch over here? And it was just over from that. I couldn't even get in past the foyer, my nigga. I couldn't. My blood was just hot.
It'd be like that. Now, but pause.
Never again.
We do not condone.
We don't. Let me tell you something. I did have to pay him back. I'm still in the process of paying him back. Yeah.
It's not a good situation.
It's not. But I was my professional career. I had to do whatever I had to do.
When it's matters of the heart, though, it hit a little different.
Especially for me, because I don't open myself up. You can't tell me no other boyfriend that I've had, really, because to me, everybody else was just like, oh, high school crushes. Da, da, da. This was like the only person where I was like, I'm cutting everything. And I made so many sacrifices. That was the thing that really irked me. Even with my music. Like, it was just hard. Being a woman trying to pursue music sometimes, whether you look good, whatever you feel like you look like, it's just that people try you. And they'll use your desire to want to be successful to get close to you. And sometimes as a woman, you have to play on that, and not to say you have to bust it open. You don't have to do that, but just being nice and flirty and, just stroking somebody's ego. These are things that I had to limit so that he would be comfortable enough to let me do my thing. But out of respect for the relationship, even if he didn't ask, I would never cross the line with certain flirting. Because to me, when you're committed, the only way to avoid temptation is to cut it off at the throat. Facts. Like, I don't play that. Like, if we're for real, if I'm saying I'm your girlfriend, no man can get close enough besides saying hi. You know what I mean? Because I don't even present myself. There's no hug. There's no way besides a little side church hug, because I'm aware, hyper aware. But not to say it limited my opportunities, but I cut a lot of opportunities off at the knees to avoid being in a situation where I would compromise my relationship. I definitely understand where I could have been just being flirty and probably could have got a couple records or whatever, you know what I mean?
In a whole different space right now.
Yep. But it's okay because I'm single now, so. And it seems like it all coming back around.
Somebody said, Q's bust windows out of his car. We live and we learn. Shavar said, hey, Coy.
Hey, Shavar.
I saw Natalia said, hey, Coy. Ray said, hey, Coy. We in here. Hey, y'all. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I see y'all comments. I be trying to answer, but, I see y'all. Trinice, hey, girl.
Trinice, bestie.
All right, so those are the excuse me come again questions
But that's like a one-time thing.
Everybody has that moment, and I would challenge even the fellas. Y'all done some crazy things as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put my brother out.
Men, y'all getting y'all feelings too, and y'all be acting out.
But how dare you, Nate?
Sometimes.
You do what you want to do.
Everybody had that one story, at least one. It's like, you know what, I did be a little crazy, but you live and you learn. So there's that. Let's get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about some dreams. So if I had to give tonight's conversation a title, I would call it Living the Dream. And I say that because a long time ago, somebody said to me, the road to riches is not necessarily about the dollar, but you are rich every time you wake up and you're doing something that you love. That's the richest you can ever be. You're rich in happiness, you're rich in peace of mind, you're rich. And just like all those different feel-good aspects.
In the human experience.
The human experience. And the most blessed part about that is the journey there. Like everything you go through, the ups and the downs to get to that space. So let's talk a little bit about it. What does it mean for you to follow your dreams? Like, has this always been a thing to be a singer? Like, has it changed from childhood to adulthood? Like, what does following your dreams, what does that mean for you?
It has not changed. From the time I was forever, I wanted to sing. I remember I used to always write songs. I remember almost every single song I've ever written since I was 7 years old.
Wow.
Like I could probably, at least the hook I could remember. I might not remember every single word, but I could remember I could probably at least, I know the melody, and the lyrics might be a little foggy, but I'm telling you, I remember it. But for me, well, I'm not going to say I'm not living my dream, because the journey is part of it. And honestly, it's the funnest part. I think I read an article before where Tupac was talking to somebody who was coming up, and he was explaining that the come up was better than actually getting there. So I always adopted, and then like you said, the ups and downs, just like the finessing, the synchronicities, the random events that take place. Like that's the best part. And I mean, for me, I was on a radio show recently, and I was explaining to them how what happened was, after I left FAMU, that's where we met. After I left FAMU, I came home. I was 19 years old. I had this song in my heart. I had a little boyfriend, if you can even call it that. We never lived in the same state. I met him at some competition in another state. I ended up writing this song when I was 17. When I was 19 and I dropped out of school, I was working just a regular little $10, $13 an hour job. And I remember posting something on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I want to do music. If you know any good studios, just let me know. At the time, I didn't know who he was, but a guy named Charlie, who's actually part of Team Fetty, which is Tom G's group, saw me and was like, oh, yeah, you should hit up Unc. I was like, okay. He was the first person that responded. So I hit up Unc Tracks. Unc Tracks at the time was working very closely with Team Fetty. So I went in there. I was all flustered. This was my first time recording in a professional studio. I was using my own money with my little $400 paycheck, just in there, just going every week, just figuring I could just do 2 hours. I was just booking 2 hours at a time, just inching my way to finishing a song. But the song was already written, and I was in there, and he was so impressed with me because I was so acting confused. But then I get in the booth and be like, you know what I mean?
Kill it.
Yeah, but he was just so impressed with me. So he was like, oh, you should do a feature or something on a song. I was like, well, I wish I could get Tom G, but I don't know. Not knowing that he was working with Tom G at the time. I didn't know. I knew Tom G. I knew about Team Fetty, but I didn't know the people who worked behind the scenes. I didn't know. So he was like, oh, I work with Tom, so let me hit him up. He hit up Tom, came back to me when I came the next week. He was like, Tom said he'll do it for $400. I was like, that was my whole check at the time. Yeah, so I was like, damn. He was like, that's the lowest that he could go. He's like, that's really cheap. Trust me. I think at the time he probably was, even at that time, I think he had if it wasn't Cushion, it might have been Scroll Music out at the time. Okay. So he was already doing numbers.
Shout
and he was
Tom.
Yeah, because at the time, I'm sure minimum he was at least charging $1,500. for a feature.
Right.
But he was like, you know, off the strength of his relationship with Unc, I don't think at the time he knew, because he and my brother are actually pretty cool too. But I don't think at the time he even knew who I was, because I never saw him. What happened was, I was like, fine, you know, Unc was like encouraging me. He was like, it's a good opportunity. It's not going to ever be this low again. My whole next check, I just gave him the whole next check. And then the week after that, when I went to the studio, the song with his part was already done. So I was never in the studio with him or anything like that. But he it was a song called Space featuring Koi featuring Sanji. And when I came to studio, his part was just done. And I was like, oh, this is lit. Da, da, da. So after that, I just kind of didn't know what I was doing, was just pushing it, just letting people know on Facebook, like here and here. And then people would let me know about opportunities, like, oh, you should submit it to 95.7. They play local music on whatever day it was. It was like, I don't know what their rotation was, but so I just submitted it. And then one day, my friend, I want to say Femso, who's another very talented singer, shout out to Femso, she was like, girl, your song is on the radio. I was like, wait. So I turned it on, I had caught the tail end of it, and I was just like blowed. So when you log on there, you can see how many times it was played, and they played it like 5 times.
That's
like,
which,
you know, that's not a lot, but during the period, this was back in 2011. And then after that, I just never really followed it up with anything, because honestly, I wasn't expecting anything. I just wanted to, I didn't know what I was doing. I just was trying to try stuff. Like, you know, I felt like a failure because I had dropped out of school. And, you know, I just was like, well, let me just pursue I don't even know what my intentions were at the time. I don't think I even had them. I just wanted to hear myself in a, you know, I just wanted to hear myself, my song, the way I heard it in my head.
Right.
So, and then after that, like, honestly, every opportunity I've had after that was just based off the strength of that one song.
Wow.
So
got the wheels turning.
Yeah. So people would tell me about open mics, and then I would just take these opportunities, like, let me go. I'll be nervous as hell, still doing it, scared as fuck, still doing it. I hate going on stage. I actually do not like singing on stage.
What?
I will do anything else on stage. I will dance. I will do an impromptu speech. I will act. I will do anything. But for whatever, I think because I care about it so much, it's just so uncomfortable. Like the anxiety. It's the anxiety. You know, this just sucks. It's not really the singing. It's just all the anxiety around it.
Yeah.
But I still would do it. That's how I know I love it, because it's like, why would I put myself through all this torture? You know, like I'm not scared of anything else. But yeah, so I did so many features, songs that have never been released. And then I stopped working with Unc because he had to move his studio. And then we recently reconnected just in the last year. That's what's up. So now I have a whole bunch of new music that'll be released this coming year. And I can't even tell you I don't even remember what's been happening lately, but last year, right before the pandemic, I'm going to tell you what I did. I did a cover. And it was just, I was actually just being funny. I was drunk that night, and I was thinking, how that go? Yes, I was thinking how funny it would be if they did. I think I was watching Chappelle's Show or something like that. And you know, like when they, I don't know if you ever watched like Nick at Night or something like that, and they always talk about like these old ass songs from like the 50s and 60s, and they're promoting this like compilation CD, and they're like featuring Kanye Twitty, whatever, Dolly Parton, all this stuff, and they're just like play a little clip of the songs from that era. So I just thought it would be funny to like sing ratchet Tampa songs, but sing it like it's a ballad or love song. So I end up singing I ain't gonna be no good. Well, because they want that wood. So that's like the first song I was playing, and then I just found a random instrumental on YouTube, and I was like, it would be so funny to like sing that song. But sing it like it's a love song. Right. Like, you know, so I did that.
Like I be singing Throat Baby. Like it's a freaking love ballad.
Like it's a ballad. Like it's a church gospel solo. Like, so I just did that. Just playing, being funny, honestly. Funny. And then Tampa Tony ended up hearing it for real.
Okay.
So then I ended up doing a song with Tampa Tony last year, but then the pandemic happened. So he didn't release it. I don't know, you know, he may or may not release it. I don't know. But just the fact that I even got an opportunity to work with such a legend in a big city as Tampa, even though Tampa's not known necessarily for the music scene, but for what my city is, he is in the upper echelon.
Yeah.
So I was very like, I was just like, oh, okay, Christina, okay, go ahead, do it. So that was fine. And then recently he just was like, what happened? I'm sorry.
You good?
What happened was I told you I started reconnecting with Unc. So one day when I was coming in, because I record weekly, I try to record weekly. I was coming in, he was actually leaving.
Okay.
So I had never seen him before at that studio. And I guess Unc was working with him on a documentary or something like that. So we passed each other, and even though all these Tampa artists, like I didn't know what they looked like.
Yeah.
Like it's not like that in Tampa. It's just kind of like, I mean, who the people's names, but you don't necessarily know what everyone looks like. Right. I would say besides Tom G, you probably like,
because Tom G be
everywhere. Yeah, but you kind of don't really know what people look like. So when I only had seen him the first time that we were in the studio, so when we were passing each other, I was looking at him. I was like, dang, he looked familiar. I was like, oh, like I think we kind of remembered at the same time. And then it was just, no really communication, but it's just like kind of, I think it put me back in his mind to be like, oh yeah, that's that singer, like that's what's up. So luckily maybe like a month or so ago, he just was encouraging me, like, you need to keep going, keep doing music. And then, it dawned on him to just be like, let me introduce you to some people. So like just in the last month, I have met like Trap Beckham, D40 Keys, TJ's DJs.
Okay.
Who he used to manage T-Pain, and he managed Trap Beckham.
We used to dance at the little TJ's DJs thing in Tallahassee.
Yep. I met him, like he introduced me. So I started doing that, and he introduced me to this this wonderful woman, this lady named Dr. Rexa, who puts on these like speed dating events.
Okay.
And then she ended up inviting me to do a show that I just did last week, Friday. But she was like, you should do the radio show before. So there was another radio show that I did last week as well. Yes, and I happened to be on the radio show with Strizzo.
Oh, wow.
Like, what the hell?
Yes.
Like, I'm like,
just hearing his name make you want to do.
Thank you. That's what I told him. I said, seriously, like, it's like, even if I don't want to, if my pastor's right here, it's like, your hands automatically go on your knees. So,
thanks.
And so that was like, oh, what are the odds, out of all days? So that was cool. I sang live on the air, which I don't even remember. To me, I don't even remember sounding good, but the fact that he heard potential. After that, we ended up talking for a while after the show, just off respect, like just me trying to teach me the game, let me know what I need to be doing and things like that. And then, I think off the strength of that conversation, he ended up inviting me to the studio, which I just went to earlier this week. And then he sent me a couple of songs, sent me some music with Javon Black. I'm just like, what? He sent me some other stuff. And then we ended up going to the studio with a legend named Lewis at Grooveland Studios, which I don't know, Lewis, if you know, but you may have or may have not heard this song called My Neck, My Back by Kaya.
Oh, okay. I might have heard
that. Yeah, so he produced that. He produced 100 Rounds. Like, he's super talented. And then we clicked because we're like both semi-nerds. So we kind of like clicked because I'm a huge sci-fi buff, and he was too. But it was just good, so things have been happening. I'm super grateful, for whatever comes out of it. Just the fact that anybody would even take the time. And they end up was like, let's scratch everything. Let's make her something custom. So they end up making me a custom beat right then and there, which I'm working on now. Yes. And I just feel really blessed because nobody has to help you do anything.
Facts.
No matter what, and I definitely appreciate it, definitely respect it. And then the respect level too, sometimes you work with people who don't have no clout and they trying to get all this stuff from you. Yep. And then you working with people with clout, like several records who will literally live off their music, and they're not asking you for anything.
For nothing. Right.
They're just trying to help you make money. Of course, get their money too, but they just see potential, and they're not, I don't have to bless it up wide open or nothing. They're not trying to not like the broke dudes who not really able to even help me for real. They want everything. And I'm like, no.
That's how it be.
But then you go to the dudes that really got clout, like they don't need me. They don't need to fuck me either, because they could really do. I'm sure there's plenty women in Tampa who would just and it's just respect and just like wisdom and help, you know. So I'm really grateful.
Girl, I will never forget when I was transitioning from radio to doing my podcast and like trying to get my YouTube page up and going. I had reached out to this guy that I know that does like a lot of like editing stuff. Yeah. And I had asked him like, hey, like if I get you the audio from the radio, can you like transition it for me so that I can upload it to my YouTube? He like, yeah, come over, we can work it out. Girl, do you know this man thought I was about to bust it open for some edits?
I'll pay. I'll rather pay. Like I'm not anybody trying to
exactly. Like don't worry, I have money. Like if you need me to pay for this service, I have no problem paying you, sir. But the fact that you thought, like what?
And he was like, "Oh, this is perfect. This perfect."
You smoke? I already knew then.
Yeah, I was about to say you already know. If they ask you if you smoke, what they trying to do?
Oh, I'm about to go home. That's what I'm about to do.
No, not tonight. I don't.
No,
no, I'm straight. I quit.
Don't worry about it. Just give me my stuff back, and we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Maybe them black y'all be serious. Oh, they still talking about your breakup story.
Yeah,
it be like that. Okay, but and then because I know you personally, so I know that I know that you used to dance. We came in on the same dance team.
Okay, just saying.
And you are fire dancer. So like the love of music, like, okay, so what does music do for you? For me, music is like that outlet. I be trying to sing a little bit. I'm a lyricist though, so I be rapping a little bit too. But dance is my outlet. I love to dance. Like that's my free space. For you, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's what singing is for you, like your outlet. Yeah. So like, but like why? What does the music do for you? Is it more of the beat? Is it more of the words? Is it more of the emotion?
Okay, so it's all of those things. So when you said, what does music do for you? Singing itself is fine, but because singing is so technical, sometimes it can take me out of the joy of music. Like if I'm keeping it real, like that's why I don't really like to do a lot of covers. Okay. Honestly, because it's like I can't enjoy the music because I'm worried about making sure I remember the lyrics and the melodies that I just learned 5 days ago because I procrastinated. You know what I mean? So, but like original music means something to me because, well, first of all, the music is almost like embedded in me at that point. So it's like by the time I perform it, it's not really even remembering the lyrics. It's just I just know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just honestly, I couldn't even tell you, but it's just like taking a drug. It transcends. Yes. It really does transcend. Like you don't really even remember the moments while you're listening to it or performing or doing it. It's just you just remember the feeling.
Right.
And it's just ecstasy. It's just pure. And there's nothing like actually doing a good job on stage to where everyone is jamming with you. Like I feel like the show I had Friday. And it doesn't always go like that. It's always like once every blue moon, but everybody was like vibing with me. They was like, oh, okay. It was almost like I was doing skateboard tricks. Like, no, for real, like skateboard tricks. I've never been to a skateboard show or anything like that. But you know, if I see somebody flipping or a gymnastic, like you be tense.
Right.
And it was like that. Or like when you even see a dance show, like you're a dancer, so you know what I'm talking about. When somebody's dancing and it's weak, you're just like, okay, like not to be rude,
right?
You're just like, okay, I see you. But when somebody's dancing is good, you be like you be moving your shoulders, like you don't even realize. So it's like when you have that connection, it's just like a whole nother. Like you don't even remember where you are. You don't even realize your body's moving.
Yeah,
you know, you just start dancing, and that's the connection that I think that all artists like this. The high that they chase. Is that connection of people, like it's everyone sharing in joy, everyone sharing an emotion. It's like being on the same frequency at the same time. It's very amazing because it's so unique. It's so unique. That's like if everyone in the world clapped at the same time, like that shit probably loud as hell.
Right.
But it would who knows what would actually happen. World might collapse or we might elevate into something else. But it's kind of very difficult to explain. It's just kind of like that's dope to think about though. I know. I always think about what if everyone jumped at the same time? You think the world would break? Like
shit, cause like a massive
earthquake or something. How would we organize that? We'd be like, okay. So at
11:11.
Yeah, but what about Central Time? You know what I'm saying? You have to really go back and like tell everybody.
Be like, yeah, that's dope though. That's very interesting to think about. That's funny. Yeah. Okay. So when you say that, so let's talk a little bit about fame versus leaving your mark. So you see people want to be famous, right? They want to be recognized. I don't know nothing about fame. They want to, be outside and have the paparazzi. People actually want that. For you, is it more so about just like perfecting your craft and sharing that with the world, or do you want that recognition, or are you looking for the coin? Like, people say, this is my gift, this is my talent. Yeah, I'm sharing it with you, but I want my talent to, provide for me. Is it more so about that, or more so about, this is what I love to do, truly makes me feel good, let me share this?
Well, okay, so it's a little bit of everything, not the fame part. I don't really like people. I already talked to you about right. That. I don't really do humans like that. But I definitely want accolades. I want accolades because it's something I work hard on. That's so it's just like the same reason people go to Olympics. Like, you already know you're faster than everybody. Do you really have to go to Olympics to get an award? No. But it's just proof. It's professional. It's like a fair assessment, or, well, you can't say fair, but it's like a set rubric or determination factor for how they're gonna determine if you're good or not.
Right.
And you just want to see if you meet that standards because you know that you set standards for yourself. So that would be nice. I mean, my phone screensaver is a Grammy. I've had that on my phone for like 5 years.
I know that.
Just because, you know what I mean? But I just want one. I don't have to have, whatever. I don't know. It's just the fact that it's just about it's more for myself, really. Mm-hmm. It's not really for anybody else. It's just knowing that, okay, what is the standard? Not to say that it's the real standard, but it's like, can I meet their particular standards? But definitely for me, it's not really about the money, but the goal is to be able to live off of music so that I don't have to do my 9 to 5. So if I could even make what I was making now, just doing music, I would be very happy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who do that, making $100,000 a year doing music. Like I'm a really big fan of Tinashe because she doesn't have a major label.
I love her.
Me too, and she's so creative. I feel like she invests her money well, and she's a real artist. And without having the label, but we still know about her.
Yeah,
I still hear her on the radio. I still know that she just put out a video. That bounce video was
on the trampolines. But I'm in my living room trying to learn that right now. Okay,
no, I'm just saying, I think it's more so a celebration of the full human experience, where you don't feel trapped by your obligations, where you're literally letting yourself be as creative as you want to be.
Yes.
And that's really what I'm after. It's just being able to wake up, do my little workout, and create all day. You know what I mean? That's what I really want.
So can I ask you to give us a sample here on the live? Are you uncomfortable? We need to take this shot?
We could take the shot or not. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm grown now.
Okay.
Like, I'm past being scared because
I'm here for it.
It's about getting to the goal, and every opportunity I have to just know that that's an opportunity from God. Being here, you don't know who on here.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So let me think. Ooh, I remember like it was yesterday when I saw your face. Knew in that instance that our lives would somehow become intertwined. Even if you couldn't be mine, the only thing we ever had against us was time. He was on the streets from 9 to 5. I had a 9 to 5, but yet and still, all my favorite memories are with you. Even though we're through, I can't forget you. We never ever seem to have enough time. On the weekends, that's when our love shine. On the weekends, we're just friends, turn lovers on the weekends.
Hey.
On the weekends, used to get it in on the weekends.
Yes, on the weekends. Okay, I like that. That's one of the things that I love about music. Being able to connect, being able to relate. The music being like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, I had a little something like that before.
Yeah, girl, haven't we all? On the weekend. Wasn't supposed to be nothing but the weekend, but here we are.
But here you are on a Monday.
Here we are, month 10, still on more than the weekend. That's what's up. Yeah. Okay, she's singing, right? And you are such a performer. I love it. You could just see that. I was just like, oh, you see that you really enjoy singing.
Thank you. I do want to do this. That it's just like I really want to quit my 9 to 5.
That's my biggest thing. I feel you. When I tell you I got my hands in a couple different buckets right now.
Can you imagine if you could just focus on this show, like, or things around this, not just the show, but things pertaining to the show. Go to conventions, do all this, network. What you have to do, like, oh, that feels like the real life you're supposed to live. Because you're more engaged, like. When you have your 9 to 5, you tune out. You kind of just get into your routine. I want to be engaged in life.
Yes. Yes. Hey, Breezy.
Best friend.
But yes, and that's the whole point of me having here, just like that dialogue, and for people to see, like, that grind to make your dream reality is like the best feeling, especially the little things in the journey and meeting the people and getting these different opportunities. It's like, okay, like,
and even spending the money feels good, because you're just like, finally I'm spending money on something I really want to spend money on, not a bill, not something else, not a house, something responsible, but just like literally something you just love.
Not having to be an adult in this moment, but actually doing something for me that feels good and potentially could be the start of something big. Yeah. And I think that thought alone really keeps a lot of people going when it comes to chasing their dream. Like, this could be it.
Can I ask you, like, how do you feel about pursuing your dreams, and how do you feel about your journey so far?
I can say up until last year, I was terrified to follow my dreams. Okay. I felt like so many people wanted to do the same things. Everybody got a dream. Everybody got a thought in their head. Anybody
seen that meme, right? Where it's like, there's more than one brand of bread.
Facts. I think it had to come. It was a sense of just saying, I think I just weighted other people's opinions too heavily on me. Yeah. And that's really what it came down to. Feeling like somebody, and this is the third time this has come up this week, but what Erykah Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Yeah. So it's like, I have all these great ideas. I have all these aspirations, and I feel like this could be a big deal, but what if they ain't fucking with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it doesn't catch on? What if nobody likes it? And I got to a point where it was like, it ain't even about if anybody like it. I'm gonna do this because I want to do it. That's like when I published my book. Yeah. At first, it was like, I want this book to do numbers. I want this, I want that. But what if they don't like it? Nah, fuck that. I want my book to be able to take my book off of my shelf, see my name on it, my picture on the back. You did this, Nay. Yeah. You wanted to do it. You believed in yourself, and you made it happen. So that's how I've been putting my head around my dreams now. Yeah.
And that's how I am. So I think you have to get to that point. Yeah. Almost, not to be worthy, but it's like God is saying, like, I can give you it, but if you don't get your mentality right, you're not going to be able to maintain it.
And I feel like once I got to that space, now the elevation is just coming. Yeah. Once I was like, I can do this and really put that out, and I truly believe it now. Yeah. It's doing exactly what I needed to do. And it feels so good.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, boo. I'm proud of you. Yeah. We haven't chopped it up in a while, but that's dope. Like, I didn't realize you was moving around and, meeting all these people and getting your hands wet a little bit in this thing. That's
the thing is, I've always taken things as they come, but it's funny what you said, because I feel like that was the moment that changed for me. I used to make every song like, I need to get a Grammy. Like, it was really ridiculous. But then when I stopped giving a fuck and I was like, I'm just making music just for the sole purpose of finishing a project for myself. I don't care if I ever release it or not. And when I started doing that, it was like came back in my life. This opportunity came. Like, everything just started happening, and I'm still real relaxed about it. Right. I'm I have intentional aspirations, but I don't care about the outcome. And I think it's like I always compare this. I'm sorry because I'm a nerd, but if y'all ever seen X-Men First Class, when Xavier was training Magneto on how to move the satellite, because it was a very large piece of metal, and Magneto moves metal, and he told him that he had to find this point between rage and peace to be at his maximum power. I think that's the same way you manifest. You have to be at this point of being intentional but not being attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
To manifest what you have to manifest. Yeah.
That makes so
That's
much
why I watch
sense.
Sci-fi. No, for real. It be deeper than rap with Sci-fi. But you can't be worried about the outcome, because that worry tells the universe that you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
You need to be confident that something will come out of it, but you just don't have to be so attached to what specifically will come out. Because it might just be a life lesson, or it might be a stack or a mill. You never know. But I don't care anymore.
Like, I'm gonna keep taking these shots on my show because I know that endorsement is coming.
Yeah.
They're gonna know how I ride with them, and they're gonna be like, oh, we need to sipping. We need to get on with her.
And hey everybody, by the way.
Right.
Because I didn't even get to speak, but
Shout out to Joseph.
And he did try it. And he did deserve it. And I'm so happy. I do not regret it. God forgive me. But I needed it. I felt so much better after that, even though I'm still paying his money.
Right. But we got Summer in the building. We got Kamotizi in the building. Shout out to Darian. I see you always supporting. Thank you.
We got Gypsy by Joe in the building.
Yes, we do. Shout out to my Breezy. There was somebody else that popped in up here. Hey y'all, I be seeing y'all. We be talking and I can't go back up, but hey to everybody. The comments, Crazy But True the podcast. We see y'all always showing love per usual, not busting it open for no edits, not doing it
or tracks or opportunities
or none of that.
No.
Or none of that, because they already thinking that that's what's coming along with it. No.
But see, that's the good thing about what you were saying, how you're like, oh, so many people are doing it. That's why we don't have to bust it wide open, because you ain't the only person who know how to edit. You ain't the only person who know how to make a beat.
Facts.
You ain't the only person who know how to rap. I don't have to do that. Somebody will help me. Somebody will look at me as, oh, okay, little sis.
Yeah, exactly.
And do it off the strength of just wanting to be a good person. Everybody is not evil. But I have been in a lot of situations where men use music to finesse me into some type of relationship or situation.
Men use anything to finesse, and it's really crazy.
Yeah, I had a manager for a couple years who I just felt like I could never get to that point where I was comfortable. I'll never forget this. I won't say his name, but one time I left the studio. Like, I was singing in the studio, and I left the booth, and I was going out to just listen. And when I got back up, he like hit me on the butt, like tapped me on the butt. I was like, So I talked to him about it, because I am a good looking girl. I'm kind of used to it. I do have a little fatty.
Hello.
So, in the club, it's kind of different. It's like, okay, somebody gonna touch my ass. You just keep walking, whatever. But in a situation like that, I have never been disrespected like that.
Yeah.
And he took it so light, and I didn't make a big deal out of it. But I did talk to him about it.
Right.
It was important. And his excuse was like, oh, it's like when coaches hit basketball players on the butt. I said, he had another artist at the time. I said, I almost revealed who it was. I was like, oh, so you hit your other male artists on the butt too? Because, basketball teams, they're all males.
Right.
And he was like, no. I was like, okay, so do you understand what I'm saying about that being disrespectful? He knew it was disrespectful the whole time, but dudes like to try to act like they don't understand.
Oh yeah.
So all that. But in my mind, whenever that happened, I just automatically was just kind of not fucking with him.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what?
For sure.
Yeah, it is. Like, you just want, or you'll be like, oh, I got you this opportunity to sing at a show, not paid. So if you even want to call it an opportunity, because it's open mic. So really, I could have just did that myself.
Right.
But whatever. But then we're going there, and your body language is like making other people feel like they can't approach me, because you're coming off like you're my man and you're not. So don't put your hand on my shoulder. I shouldn't have to be like figuring out how I can maneuver away from you. It's just like, I'm not doing it. And so when I did cut ties, he still feels salty. And I haven't really just straight up told him, like, it's because you take too many liberties with me, that is like I'm not interested.
It's not what it is.
Yeah, but I'm just waiting for him to try me. I have actually shut him down so many times in my head. So I'm just waiting for him to say to somebody like, oh, Coy, I don't know, she acting funny today. I just wait. I want somebody to come and tell me that he's saying something negative about me so I can put him on blast.
Right.
Because you're Harvey Weinstein ass. Nigga, I will put you, oh, you mad? Oh, you mad? I'll press charges. Hello, you want me to press charges? Oh, you don't want me to press charges. Okay.
He probably was ugly anyway. They always be the funny looking ones, yo. They be having the most confidence to try somebody. Sit down.
You know why? Because they don't have no other choice. It's like you're never gonna be cute, so you just gotta shoot your. No, for real, you just gotta shoot your shot. Like,
let me just try this. This is what I got going for me. Let me try use to my advantage. That is crazy.
Yeah. Or if all you have is money, you feel like, oh, I spent this, so I should be able to. No, because I could really buy my own meal.
Bust it open or go see Larry. I'll go see Larry then. Larry seems like a nice guy. We got the best producer in Florida. I'm done with y'all.
I agree. Who are you talking about who's the best producer? Because I feel like I mean, I don't know. I done met a couple. I was gonna say OP Super is like one of my favorites. Joe Blow. He's not in Florida anymore, but I met him in Florida. He's one of my favorites. And then of course, Lewis at that I just met, Grooveland. He's dope as hell.
Florida be doing it big when it comes to
Strizzo,
music, though.
like, come on.
Central Florida definitely. I really vibes with Central Florida music and South Florida music. Like, as a dancer, like, that's the first thing I listen to is, can I, number one, relate to this music, and is it gonna make me?
It's the mood for me,
you know.
And I was literally doing a fake interview in the car on my way here, and I was like,
I be doing that,
and I was just thinking, like, you know, before I like go out, before I perform, before I do, like, when I'm putting on my makeup, what do I listen to? I listen to Tampa music. And then I had to think to myself, why is that? Because I'm gonna tell you what, Tampa music, I'm gonna tell you the whole vibe of Tampa music, just music. It's literally the feeling of a payday Friday.
Hey.
But you also getting another check on that same Friday. Like maybe you getting your child support check, and then you got your hair done on Thursday, which is just the day before that Friday, and then your favorite rapper in town, and you and your homegirls gonna go see them in concert, and then go to the after party, and it's already paid for. Then you get to skip the line. That is the feeling of Tampa music. It's like it's not just a regular payday Friday. It's like the best payday Friday. And so all Tampa music is super positive and all about having a good time.
Yes.
There's no negative Tampa music. It's like people work so hard all week and they finally get to relax and have a drink and their kids with their daddy or their mama. Right. That is the embodiment of Tampa music. This is why I just like there's nothing like it anymore, because all this new music is so fucking depressing and y'all killing everybody and got shooters and sipping lean all day. You a trapper, but you in your feelings all day. Like I just can't.
Oh my God. So shout out to my Instagram followers, because a couple of people were able to say, I remember you guys from performing opening up for Trina. And that was dope because people recognize and people remember, and that was such a dope experience. Thanks for letting me be a part of that. But what is next for Coy? Like, where can we find you? Or you got any projects soon to be released? Like, what's next?
So you can definitely find me on Instagram is my main source, and you can basically get everything from there. It's Coy Music 813. Coy is spelled Koi, as you see it on the screen. Music MUSIC 813. That is my Instagram name. Like I said, I recently connected with Strizzo and Lewis at Grooveland Studios. So we'll see what happens, because sometimes we do stuff and it may work, it may not work. But we're in the process. I'm learning so much from both of them right now. So I'm super, super grateful. But I am working on a project. This is actually my first time ever talking about this project that I'm about to do. So this whole project is actually about my breakup. So
those be the best ones.
It's called Miss Me. It's gonna be called Miss Me, and it's just next year I'll probably be releasing a single each quarter. So you just definitely want to stay tuned. And then of course, like I said, I'm the goal is Strizzo to produce this song. Is producing the song for me. They're definitely helping me write it and do stuff like that. So I'm excited to have that, and that will be on the project as well.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything is falling under the theme of Miss Me, because you're gonna miss me. And I'm really excited. Like, this is my first. I mean, even though I've been I was 19, I dropped out of college. That was probably like my first single was in 2011. My first song, whatever you want to call it. But this is like my first time really rolling out something the right way, like photos. Like, because when I did Space, I didn't do no photography, no video, nothing. It was just like regular space. What is it called? MySpace pictures.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. So, this will be my first time really actually rolling something out the correct way with like promo, video, pictures. You know what I'm saying? So, this is girl.
about time. I feel you on that.
But yes, finally I'm there, and I just feel like I'm very confident that y'all are gonna see me really blow up next year. Like, and I do not speak like this. I don't, but I'm telling you, like, I'm very, I just know, like, it's just everything clicking. Like, I can't even. I don't want to jinx it, but I just know I would never say it if I didn't know. But I promise you and guarantee you, it's gonna be a big deal. I'm gonna be the next out of Tampa, or the first female singer, vocalist, whatever, out of Tampa who's like really singing. Like, it's gonna be me. Yes. And I feel like I got a lot of people behind me that really believe in me. I did a show. Tom G did a live show recently, like a year or two ago. I did that. He only had me, Khalil Lene, who's another dope singer who was on The Voice maybe 1 or 2 years ago. So I'm really excited. Like, I'm telling you, it's about to be on and popular this coming year. Yeah, I'm about to have me a little hot girl year, like Megan Thee Stallion.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh yes, this was dope. I'm so proud of you. Listen,
thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so looking forward to this journey. You know, I am rooting you on the entire way.
And can I just say shout out, because you're one of the first people who ever asked me to perform too. Do you remember?
Yes.
Was that
at my birthday?
Yep.
Yes.
So
and everybody really was like, "Oh, she could really sing for real." Like, wait, yes.
I thought it was so awkward.
My friend Bomb,
but we'll talk. I was gonna say, so I almost caught on myself. But yeah.
But yes,
well,
because
thank you for supporting me.
No problem. I fucks with the people that fucks with me.
Yeah.
We can all eat, and I want to help. That's what I said. If you need to get any, hit me up. I'm here. Whatever I can do for you, hit me up. Let me know.
Same here.
Here to make it do what it do. Thank you so much, Koi, for coming through and having this dialogue with me about chasing your dreams. If anybody's out there trying to chase their dreams, you got it. Just do it. Make it do what you needed to do for you. Put it out there in the atmosphere, and you'll be amazing. That's that. Same time, same place next week, 8 p.m. on Thursday. It will be officially Negus at that point. We're going up all month. It's a real one's birthday. It's a holiday. It's a celebration.
I mean, we gotta.
Let's talk about it. And that's that. Yes, that was dope.